What's up, everybody? It's Clark here for the BOS Sports Podcast. Reeling at the Atlanta Hawks and Atlanta Braves. They've lost their last two games as Atlanta Hawks, since the All-Star break, are now 0-2. And Atlanta Braves, they've lost their first two spring training matches with some mixed results here from our regulars. Chris Sale, of course, he had the brilliant start Saturday, a nice start to his spring training campaign. And today we saw Ian Anderson pitch for the first time since August 13th, 2022, coming back from Tommy John surgery. He did not fare as well. We'll get into all that and more. So tonight, the Atlanta Hawks, they lost nail biter 148-143 versus the Pistons, a game which the Hawks had a chance to tie and take the lead there late in the game, potentially win it. They fell just short as Trae Young, he had a monstrous 30-point plus double-double, his 89th of the career. He was tied for the game high with Cade Cunningham. They both had 38 points. Trae Young, he had 13 assists. Cade Cunningham, he had 12 assists. Trae Young, he had 7 turnovers and shot 10 for 24 from the field, 41.7%, compared to Cade Cunningham's 14 for 24 from the field, 58.3% for Cade Cunningham. As well, Cade Cunningham, he had a brilliant day beyond the arc, hitting 7 3-pointers, 7 for 10, shooting from beyond the arc for Cade Cunningham. He had 7 rebounds as well as 3 turnovers. Nice day, all-around day for the Stars. Both teams, Cade Cunningham and Trae Young, they're both all-stars this year. And coming out of the All-Star break, the fans at State Farm Arena got an absolute show out of those two. Dyson Daniels as well, he had a monstrous game again tonight with 24 points, 4 steals, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 10 for 14 from the field, 71.4%. As well, Georges Niang, he had 27 points, 10 for 20 shooting from field, 50%, 7 for 14 from three-point land. He had 7 3-pointers as well. 50% from beyond the arc for Georges Niang this game as well. 5 rebounds. Onyeka Okongwu, he was just 1 rebound shy of a double-double. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. We see him playmaking in there as well, racking up nice assists total as well in this game. Zachary Richer, he had a very nice game. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. 5 for 10 shooting from the field, 50%. 4 for 6 from three-point land, 66.7% for Zachary Richer as well. He had a nice, perfect day from the free throw line, 5 for 5. Malik Beasley there for the Pistons. He had a great day as well. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 7 for 12 shooting from field, 58.3%. Dennis Schroeder, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 for 10 shooting from the field. They had 7 Pistons in double digits, with Ausar Thompson as well having 14 points, 7 for 8. Great shooting day for Ausar Thompson there. 87.5% from the field, as well as he had 3 steals. Tobias Harris, he had a nice 12-point day. Jalen Duren, 13 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 for 6, perfect day shooting from the field there for Jalen Duren. As well, Tim Hardaway Jr. had a nice day for the Pistons. 18 points, 6 for 11 shooting from field, 54.5%. As well, he shot 6 for 10 from three-point land, 60%. So, of course, this podcast, look at 3 key stats. Basketball game, who wins? Of course, that's field goal percentage, rebounding, turnovers. In today's case, one of the margins was so lopsided, determined the 2 others, as the Pistons outshot the Hawks 59.1% to the Hawks 50%. That's an incredibly high clip by the Hawks. It highlights their defensive struggles in this game. Allowing nearly 60% shooting from field is just not a great defensive result. Of course, giving up 148 points as well. So, real rebounding margin, the Hawks won by 52-51. Turnovers margin, the Hawks won, as the Pistons had 17 turnovers compared to the Hawks 13. 3-point shooting percentage as well was in the Pistons' favor, 50 to the Hawks 46.7%. Although the Pistons, they made less 3-pointers as they had 20 for 40 shooting from beyond the three-point arc, compared to Atlanta Hawks 21 for 45. Highlight play of the game, Trey Young. He got a nutmeg there on Cade Cunningham there in the first quarter, just above the 7-minute 30-second mark. Great play by Trey Young. Has something all of us Hawks fans have take away from that game as a nice highlight, something to feel good about. Of course, we're playing shorthanded with several of our key players out for hopefully not the season with Vee Krejci, Larry Nance Jr., but Kobe Buffkin and Jalen Johnson, of course, are out. So the first quarter, it started with an Asar Thompson bucket. And there at the 11-minute, 25-second mark as the Pistons took an early 2-point lead. So in this episode, we're going to recap Hawks Pistons, and then we're going to recap both the Braves Twins and the Braves game today versus the Rays. So getting back here, this Hawks game in the first quarter. The Hawks, they got an early small lead, but the Pistons, they took it back as Dyson Daniels, he got a layup there, putting the Hawks up 11-14 there at the 6-minute, 46-second mark of the first quarter. But the Pistons came back on a 22-16 run to overtake the lead 33-30 by the end of the first quarter. Trey Young, he already had 10 of his 38 points there the first quarter. He had 0 turnovers. To be noted, as he wound up on the day with 7 total. He had a very clean first quarter, and then the Pistons got to him a bit there on defense, causing those turnovers. Well, Trey Young, the first quarter, he had 2 assists, 3 for 4 shooting from the field, 1 for 1 from three-point land, 3 for 3 from free throw land. Every other Hawk in the first quarter were a combined 7-23, as the rest of the Hawks were not cooking on offense in the first quarter. Overall, the team shot 10 for 27 as well from field. Good for 37%. Cade Cunningham, the first quarter, already had 11 of his 38 points. Well, had 14 for 28. The Pistons overall in the first quarter had 14 for 27 shooting from the field. 19 rebounds, 4 turnovers. The Hawks had 18 rebounds, 3 turnovers. So the Pistons were winning the rebounding margin early there in the first quarter. Second quarter opens with a Trey Young deep 3-point shot, as he had a nice 6-15 shooting day from 3-point land, hitting a few clutch shots, shooting decent there, 40%, and hitting one of those there to open the third quarter. And seconds later, Terrence Mann, he gets a putback bucket there just over the 10-minute, 30-second mark, as the Hawks got the lead back there to start the second quarter early on, going on a quick 5-0 run. 35-33 Hawks. 10-minute, 15-second mark. Clint Capella, he gets to the free throw line. Malik Beasley, he hits a fadeaway three-pointer, as he had the brilliant 24-point day. He had 3 of those 24 points there at the 8-minute, 56-second mark. On a fadeaway 3-point attempt, he as well was fouled on the play and one possibility, but he missed the free throw. Pistons, they did get back in front, though, on the 3-point shot. 39-38 Pistons back in front. Malik Beasley at that point had attempted 4 free throws and missed all 4. But he hit them down the clutch. We'll get back into that. We'll get into that later on in the fourth quarter notes. So Zachary Riche, he had a 3-point basket there at 7-minute, 49-second mark, putting the Hawks back in front, 43-41. Onyeka Okongwu at the 7-minute, 41-second mark, he got dunked, 45-43 Hawks. And then Atlanta Hawks, they took a timeout there at 6-minute, 47-second mark. And we're going to take a timeout here. This is the BOS Sports Podcast. So just prior to that aforementioned timeout, Zach Ricochet, he got absolutely jacked by Jalen Duren. And the referees, they missed it. And instead, they called an illegal a defensive 3-second violation on Mo Gay. They missed the illegal screen of Jalen Duren on Zach Ricochet, but called instead a defensive 3-second call on Mo Gay. So they're at the 6-minute and 4-second mark. Coming out of the Hawks timeout, Cade Cunningham, he got a 3-pointer, his 19th point. And then Holland for the Pistons got at 5-minute, 46-second mark. He got dunked off of Cade Cunningham's 7th assist. As Cade Cunningham, I believe he had a double-double in the first quarter. Yes, 29 points, 10 assists there in the first half for Cade Cunningham. Yes, in the first half, not the first quarter. So going back the second quarter, Onyeka Okongwu at 5-minute, 22-second mark. He had a putback there, cutting the Pistons lead to 51-50 Pistons. Trae Young, he returns the game there, coming back from his rest there at 5-minute, 2-second mark. As Trae, he played 38 minutes tonight. Early on in the season, he was averaging about 36 minutes. He's been playing more. Of course, he's managing that right heel Achilles tendonitis. That's reported every day on injury report. He's always probable. We don't get much information more about that. We were told when that was initially reported back in November that would be something that he'd probably deal with the rest of the year. And so far, it's been true. We haven't really gotten any more updates on that. So, Cade, after Trae Young returns the game there at 5-minute, 2-second mark, second quarter, Cade Cunningham, he got a jumper, his 21st point, putting the Pistons lead 55-50 at that point. Georges Niang then comes back at the 4-minute, 13-second mark, hits his 10th point, 55-53 Hawks, getting the Hawks back in the lead off Trae Young's 5th assist. And here comes Cade Cunningham coming right back. 61-55 Pistons off this 3-pointer there at the 3-minute, 22-second mark. Trae Young, he then hits a pull-up 3, pulling the Hawks deficit at 3 points, 61-58 that point. Dyson Daniels, he gets a 6 point as Dyson Daniels, he had a nice 3-for-3 day from 3-point land. Nice to see from Dyson Daniels. Maybe he's in that Kyle Korver shot lab over the All-Star break, as he was rumored being in over the summer prior towards his nice breakout there in the Olympics for Australia. He shot around 38% there for Australia in the Olympics. We've seen that translate for Dyson Daniels. He's been shooting more threes here. Already shot and made a career high. So going back to the second quarter of this game, Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, after hitting that 3-point shot, is 6 point, 61-61, ties the game. But then the Pistons go on a 7-0 run, as was characterized several times this game. When the Hawks would tie or get close, the Pistons would go on a quick little run here, such as this 7-0 run, capped by Tobias Harris layup there, 6 point, 68-61 Pistons at that point. Onyeka Okongwu, he quells it temporarily with a couple points, 68-63. 53-second mark there, second quarter, Tim Hardaway Jr., 3-point shot off Cade Cunningham assist. Georges Niang, he answers right back there with 3 of his own off Trae Young's 6 assists. Georges Niang's 13th point. Cade Cunningham, he answers back with a pull-up 3, his 27th point, as 29th there in the first half. 76-68 would be the final tally there after Cade Cunningham. He would score his 29th point there the first half. Pistons up by 8. The Atlanta Hawks, they allowed 76 first half points. Ooh, tough first half. They could just not stop Cade Cunningham. As well, Malik Beasley, he was often, him and Tim Hardaway Jr., they were often open there. The Hawks' defensive rotations, they're quartering beyond the 3-point arc. They absolutely torched us from beyond 3-point arc with a 50% shooting rate overall in the game. But here back in the first half, of course, Cade Cunningham, he had that nice double-double already with 29 of his 38 points, 10 of his... I believe he had 10 of his 12 assists Cade Cunningham had in the first half. 11 for 16 shooting from field for Cade Cunningham first half. 6 for 8. He had 6 of his 7 3-point shots there in the first half. 5 rebounds, 1 block. Trae Young, he had a nice first half. 16 points, 6 assists. 10 of those 16 there in the first quarter. 1 steal, 5 for 9 shooting from field. 55.6% shooting. As well as he was 3 for 5 from 3-point land. Looks like I'm going to pause here really quick for some station identification. This is the BOS Sports Podcast. So back here, recapping Hawks, Pistons, first half stats before we get into some Braves coverage here. Finish off this game here. So the first half, the Hawks were outshot 61.2% to the Atlanta Hawks, 43.4% from the field. The rebounding margin was even 30-30. The Pistons were losing the turnover margin as well, as they had 8 first half turnovers compared to Atlanta Hawks 4. Georges Niang, he had 13 points, 5 for 13 shooting from the field. Onyeka Okongwu, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds. Zachary Ricochet, 11 first half points, 4 rebounds. So the second half, it started off the same way as the first half started off. It started off with an Ausar Thompson bucket. As Ausar Thompson, he got a bucket there around the 11-minute, 46-second mark, 78-68. Onyeka Okongwu, he answered right back on the other end. Tim Hardaway Jr., three-pointer, 81-80. His 12th point is 81-70, the 11-minute, 20-second mark, the third quarter. His 12th point, Dyson Daniels, he answered right back with a 3 of his own. There at the 10-minute, 37-second mark. His 12th point, 81-73. Georges Niang, 10-minute, 1-second mark. His 16th point off Trae Young's 6 assists. 81-76 that point. As the Hawks, they got off to a nice start there in the third quarter. Trae Young, 9-minute, 41-second mark. He got a 3-pointer. The Hawks, they got back within 2 points there at 9-minute, 41-second mark. And then the Pistons, aforementioned, as soon as the Hawks, they got close, they went on a nice quick 6-0 run. Ausar Thompson buckets, couple buckets, and Jalen Duren bucket, a jumper. As they go back up, 87-79 that. Dyson Daniels, he got a hook shot. There is 14 point. Finally quells the run, 87-81. Upsetting day for Atlanta sports fans. Going to pause here for quick station identification. This is the BOS Sports Podcast. All right. So back here in the third quarter, Trae Young, he had 3-point Dyson Daniels at an 8-minute and 17-second mark. He had a hook shot. His 14-point finally quelled that aforementioned run. The Pistons got off to after the Hawks cut within 2 points there. Trae Young, he then hit Mo Gay for a cut. They're cutting the deficit back to 2 points, 88-86. Trae Young, 7th assist. Ricochet, he makes some free throws there at 6-minute, 45-second mark. Makes both of them 88-88. But Tim Hardaway Jr., he came right back on the other end after the Hawks tied it. Hits a clutch corner three wide open there as the Hawks struggled to cover shooters all day. Struggle again as Tim Hardaway hits the three. Seconds later, Tobias Harris, as the Pistons would go right back up 98-91. Quick run. Onyeka Okongwu, 91-88, that is. Onyeka Okongwu, he hits Georges Niang on a kick out for a three-pointer there at the 6-minute, 18-second mark, third quarter. His 19th point for Niang, tying it 91-91 again. But Tobias Harris, he answered right back with a bucket on jumper, 93-91. Listen. Cade Cunningham, he had a layup, his 33rd point there in the third quarter. A 4-minute, 53-second mark, 99-93. Karis LeVert, he answered right back with a nice jumper, fadeaway jumper there along the baseline. His 7th point, as Karis LeVert, he had 7 points. On 3 for 10 shooting from field, 1 for 4 from three-point land. But he hits a nice jumper there. Onyeka Okongwu, he makes a couple free throws there at 3-minute, 55-second mark. Putting the Hawks deficit back to 2 points, 99-97 Pistons. Trae Young, he makes a couple free throws there back at the 2-minute, 23-second mark. Makes both of them 101-98. But Malik Beasley, he comes right back, makes 3 of his 24 points on the day. 101-98 Pistons. Trae Young, he got right back to the free throw line, cutting the deficit back to 4 points, 104-100 Pistons there. 1-minute, 47-second mark, third quarter. And then here come the Pistons again. Aforementioned quick run when the Hawks cut close. 7-point run in the first quarter. 110. No, that wouldn't. At the 36-second mark, the score would be 110-111. 111-110. And Trae Young, he had a free throw and hits Georges Niang on the drive to call the run. After Trae Young, he was fouled on out-of-bounds play. The final score of the first half would be, the third quarter would be 111-103. 112-103. After Dennis Schroeder was fouled. Interesting play there to end the third quarter. Trae Young, he fouled Dennis Schroeder on inbound pass. It was reviewed there by the officials. And it was determined they initially made the incorrect foul, as was called on Trae Young after the ball was inbounded. And it was determined after the review that Trae Young, he fouled Dennis Schroeder before the inbound. And then Dennis Schroeder got the point, which ended the final tally there in the third quarter. 112-103. And the fourth quarter, it opened up with, you guessed it, Cade Cunningham, 3-point shot. His 36th point of the day, as he would have 5 points there in the fourth quarter. 1-minute, 2-second mark. Dyson Daniels, he got a layup, his 19th point off Trae Young's 9th assist. 115-105. Hawks start coming right back, trying to make up a little bit the deficit that they gave up there late in the third quarter. Georges Niang, he got a 3-pointer. There's 24th point at 10-minute, 11-second mark. But Malik Beasley, he answered right back. Other end, his 14th point. Cade Cunningham's 11th assist. As Malik Beasley, he absolutely went off there in the fourth quarter. Trae Young at the 9-minute, 54-second mark, he got his 25th point, pulling the Hawks back within 10 points, 120-114. They were working uphill there in the fourth quarter. At the 8-minute, 35-second mark, the Hawks forced a shot clock violation. Nice defensive effort there by Atlanta Hawks. They were really trying to pull right back, trying to make a game of it. Trae Young, he got a 3 right on the other end, rewarding that effort. 120-115, Hawks pulling the deficit back within 5 points. But then here comes Malik Beasley with his 27-point on another three-pointer. Cade Cunningham's 12th and final assist of the day, putting the Pistons up 123 to 115. At 8-minute mark, Trae Young, he got the free throw line, got 2 free throws, 3 points, 123 to 117. As Trae Young, he was 11 for 12 from the three-point free throw line to that point. Malik Beasley, he came right back and got, you guessed it, another three-point shot in the corner. His 20th point. He absolutely torched us there in that fourth quarter. 126, 116 Pistons. Dennis Schroeder, off of Dennis Schroeder's 6 assists there, 7-minute 44-second mark, the fourth quarter. Gorgeous Niang, he helps Trae Young complete his 89th career 30-point plus double-double with a 3-point shot off Trae Young's 10th assist there at 7-minute 6-second mark. Trae Young, he hits a floater there at 6-minute 36-second mark. Zachary Vischer at 5-minute 55-second mark, he hits a 3. Trae Young's 11th assist, 129, 125 Pistons. 5-minute 8-second mark, Jalen Duren, he gets a tip in, 133, 127 Pistons. 4-minute 17-second mark, Zachary Shea, he gets a 3-point shot, his 19th and final point of the day off Dyson Daniels' 5th assist. 3-minute 35-second mark, Dyson Daniels, he got a dunk. Onyeka Okongwu at 3-minute 35-second mark of the fourth quarter, he got dunked. 135, 132. Hawks climbed back. They had a shot there in the final minutes. Fortunately, things just did not go Hawks' way. Dyson Daniels, he additionally, he tied it there. 135 after getting a steal, getting a breakaway dunk there. But here comes Oscar Thompson as he had a brilliant day, aforementioned, shooting 7 for 8 from the field. And he gets the bucket, putting the Pistons back up by 2, 137 to 135. Trae Young, he then answers with a deep 3-point bomb, putting the Hawks up by 1, 138, 137. Trae Young, he gave a lot of effort trying to get the Hawks. This W today fell just a little bit short. Cade Cunningham, he had his 38th and final point of the day, 1-minute 49-second mark, 139, 138. Pistons back in front. But here comes Dyson Daniels. He got a bucket. 140, 139. 33-second mark, Dennis Schroeder, he got in one play and putting the Pistons back up by 2, 142 to 140 Pistons. And then the Hawks, after that, they had 2 nice opportunities. Trae Young, a little bit questionable shot selection there around the 49-second mark. Their fadeaway 3-point shot. Looked like he might got fouled, but Hawks potentially could have gone for a more assured basket. Said he likes to go with the fadeaway 3-point shot. Final minute, would like to see shot attempt close to the basket or a 3-point shot more wide open than it was. And as well, he missed a floater, which was a nice shot attempt. Nice shot selection there. 30-second mark. Fortunately, did not fall for Trae Young there. And Malik Beasley, he got fouled on the other end on drive. Looked like a clean block by Dyson Daniels, but it was indeed called a foul. And the Hawks were out of challenges. They could not challenge Malik Beasley after struggling, missing his first 4 free throws in the game. He makes both of them, putting the Pistons up 144 to 140. Trae Young, he got fouled there at the 15-second mark, and that was challenged by the Pistons and overturned. And the Pistons came right back, and Dennis Schroeder, he got free throws other end, 146, 140. Game basically over. 146-second mark. Trae Young, he got fouled, made a free throw, and that would be the game. As the final tally of the game would be 148-143. Tough game for Atlanta Hawks. Of course, coming out of All-Star break. Of course, we lost Jalen Johnson for the season last month. It was announced. So for the rest of the year for Atlanta Hawks, of course, we do not own our own draft picks, so tanking does not help us. Just look for Atlanta Hawks to have a fun season the rest of the way. Unfortunately, things have not been too fun recently. And of course, you want to look at the pieces that you acquired in the trades. for DeAndre Hunter and Bogdan Bogdanovic and evaluate if there are potentially pieces for beyond the season. Harris LeVert, his contract is expiring after the end of the season, but Georges Niang, he's around, is contracted for next year as well. Terrence Mann is contracted for well beyond this year. The Hawks have a lot of questions. Trae Young, he's contracted for 2 more years, but one of those is a player option. He's contracted, fully guaranteed on Atlanta Hawks next year. Year after that, he has a player option. We want to keep Trae Young around, so we want to be sure we focus on what the Atlanta Hawks are doing. Focus on how the Atlanta Hawks could potentially build a contending roster for next season. We want the Hawks to be in contention for the finals with Trae Young as a star, Jalen Johnson as a star. We, of course, own the Lakers pick. The Lakers, they're absolutely cooking with Luka Doncic. That was a brilliant trade for the Lakers. Not sure what the Mavericks were doing. I did think that the Mavericks would get a little bit more balance there. I felt like they potentially need more help there in the front court. And adding Anthony Davis, if healthy, I felt like that would be a big plus. And, of course, they looked unstoppable until, of course, he got injured. And unfortunately, that's been a trend for Anthony Davis in his career. And happened again shortly after he's traded. So, interesting dynamics there. Think that the Lakers pick potentially trend upwards outside of the Hawks' favor. It'll be a higher first-round draft pick, mid-20s, as we're hoping for a low-20s draft pick. I think the Lakers will continue to win, continue to trend upward. They're an interesting team to watch in playoffs. As well as Sacramento Kings. They're an interesting team to watch out for. The Hawks pick. The Hawks own the Sacramento Kings 2025 draft pick, but is protected between selections 1 through 12. The Kings are a little bit on the edge of that. They're in conglomerate standings, so we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, they did not trade the pick, so the Hawks are working within that gamble, hoping that that pick works out. As there's nice players we reviewed in previous episodes, nice front court players: Johnny Broom, Noah Senge, Thomas Sorber. I'm blanking on our guy at UGA. Oh gosh, that's terrible. I did not write them all down. As well as centers projected in the second round, the late first round: Ryan Kalkbrenner, Danny Wolf, Rocco Zakarsky. Some interesting names. Derek Queen is another front court name. Asa Newell, that's who I was trying to think of there at UGA. Plethora of nice front court players here in this upcoming draft. So, Atlanta Hawks, they have 2 first-round draft picks and that second-round draft pick from the Timberwolves. That's something they could potentially cook with. Well, they'll have a lot of salary coming up. Currently projected to be about $5 million above the salary cap. They get under that, say they offload Terrence Mann or Georges Niang, or maybe another player, shed payroll, and maybe part ways with player. We'll see how the rest of the season goes as they potentially work into long-term plans. But if they were to get rid of one of those salaries, one of those players and their salaries, then it'd be under the salary cap, and they could do anything they wanted. They could acquire any player via trade. They could sign any player that could become available. Jimmy Butler, he is not potentially a free agent. He had a player option. Of course, he signed that big contract with the Warriors. Kyrie Irving is a big name. And, of course, with the trend and the news of Luka Doncic trade, that was supposedly a shocker in the organization. I'm not sure if Kyrie Irving was in on that news before it happened, but obviously that situation has not worked out so far. Although, not sure how Kyrie Irving would help. As brilliant of a player as he is, not sure how that would work with the Hawks. Brandon Ingram as well, he resigned with the Raptors. He's off the board. So not many star players in free agency. Maybe Kevin Durant will get unsettled there with the Suns. Things appear to be trending downward with them. Maybe he'll become available. So we're pretty much hoping and working on hope with the Atlanta Hawks offseason. The draft, things look nice. They get some combination like Noah Senge and Joni Broom there, which they could very well projected within those pick ranges. And as well, adding, they'd probably have to trade up to get a Ryan Kalkbrenner or Danny Wolf or Rocco Zikarsky, with the Timberwolves second round pick being late in the second round draft. But that's not too difficult of a thing to do. So that could potentially be a nice draft for Atlanta Hawks. Of course, Ryan Kalkbrenner, senior 3-time Big East Player of the Year. He'd be likely an immediate impact. Danny Wolf and Rocco Zikarsky, they'd probably be a little bit of a project, with Danny Wolf being likely more NBA ready and potentially lineup ready than what the reports on Rocco Zikarsky have been recently. So before we get to some Atlanta Braves news, we're going to do a quick segment on Georges Niang, new Atlanta Hawk, and I discussed shortly after the Atlanta Hawks acquired him. I thought he was potentially a piece going forward for Atlanta Hawks. And of course, he had a nice 27-point day today with 5 rebounds and 50% shooting, not only from the field, but as well overall from the arc. He's hitting 3-point shots. One thing a little bit concerned with Georges Niang going forward is, of course, the lateral movement. And concern is he's a little bit defensive liability. With having that 27 points, he had a minus 12 on the floor. And look up and post online a little bit more about that, Georges Niang's defensive stats from the night. I feel like works on flexibility and, a little bit more cardio or so, and potentially have a little bit more lateral movement, be a bit more effective there on defense. Something to watch out for the rest of the season. It's as well something that could be addressed in the offseason. So he's still potentially a piece for Atlanta Hawks going forward. Of course, he's out of Massachusetts, born in Massachusetts. He is Senegalese American, raised out of Massachusetts. Originally born in Massachusetts, but he attended high school in New Hampshire at Tilton High School, as he was a starter for 3 years and 2-year team captain, and holds the Tilton High School scoring record with over 2,000 points there for Georges Niang. In his junior year, he averaged 24.2 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, led Tilton to a NIPSAC Class AA title with perfect 11 for 11 shooting in the championship game. Named the tournament's most outstanding player. His senior year, he averaged 25.1 points per game. As well, he played for BABC and AAU with Nero Knoll and won the 2011 Nike Peach Jam. Consensus top 100 national recruit, where he'd go into Iowa State under coach Fred Hoiberg. I remember him from the Timberwolves. Interesting connection there. Freshman there, he was named to Big 12 All-Rookie team in his sophomore year. He averaged 16.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, but suffered a 5th metatarsal in his right foot. Metatarsal is the foot. He suffered a broken foot. I thought that was about the same metacarpal. That's the same injury that Larry Nance Jr. had earlier this season. He broke a metacarpal. I've broken a metacarpal before. It's not fun. So, Georges Niang, he suffered his metatarsal injury there during the 2014 NCAA tournament. And prior to his junior year, he lost a bunch of weight. There, 30 pounds, lightening up to 230, and he averaged 15.3 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, 3.4 per game. They lost UAB in the 2015 NCAA tournament. Senior, consensus second team All-American, Karl Malone Award winner as top power forward, Big 12 tournament MVP, first Cyclone player to win 4 straight NCAA. Believe that maybe a Big 12 tournament. So he was drafted 50th overall in the second round by the Indiana Pacers there in 2016. He was waived by the Pacers there in 2017. Not a great start for Georges Niang's NBA career, but he hopped on the Warriors shortly after in their G League affiliate. That was when the Golden State Warriors, of course, were in their dynasty years. He played the Santa Cruz Warriors, but he'd eventually make his way to the Utah Jazz, signing a 2-way contract in January 2018. We'd split time between the Jazz and their G League affiliate. In the summer of 2018, after he signed the 2-way contract in July, Georges Niang, he was converted to a full-time player. And during his time with the Utah Jazz, he had notable games, such in 2019 as 24 points versus the Clippers, as well as 24 points versus the Rockets. The Jazz, with Georges Niang, he played a versatile role for that team. He played a little bit small ball center there, which saw the Utah Jazz with current Atlanta Hawks coach Quinn Snyder go on a deep run there in the playoffs there early 2020s. He signed with the 76ers after his Utah Jazz tender for a 2-year, $6.7 million deal, and joined the Cleveland Cavaliers after that deal was over in 2023 with a 3-year, $25.5 million contract. That's his current contract. And last season, he played all 82 games. Durable player. Averaging career high 9.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game. Well, he had a career best 33 points versus the Milwaukee Bucks just over a year ago, January 2024. He was traded to the Atlanta Hawks at the trade deadline. And the DeAndre Hunter trade that shocked NBA is not maybe not so shocking after the Luka Doncic trade. Very shocking for Atlanta Hawks fans. A lot of Fox fans they speculated DeAndre Hunter was untouchable, but the Atlanta Hawks they quote unquote sold high on DeAndre Hunter, and we'll see if that works out long term. We'll see and track, of course, DeAndre Hunter on the Cavs. And see if that helps the Cavs get past the Celtics this year, playoffs. So Georges Niang, he's 31 years old. He will be up, I believe his contract is up after next season. So he'll be under contract here with the Atlanta Hawks. Player to certainly watch out for. Aforementioned that was 2021 to 2021 season when he helped under Quinn Snyder with the Utah Jazz, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell. They had a nice playoff run. Rudy Gobert, of course, they broke that team up. Georges Niang, he was a nice role player for them and has continued to have a nice career in the NBA with the 76ers and Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll see and continue to track the rest of the Atlanta Hawks season this year. If he's a player, potentially fit in for Atlanta Hawks long term as they hopefully look to build a contender for next season. So, before we switch to some Atlanta Braves coverage, going to pause really quick for, of course, BOS Sports station identification. This is BOS Sports Podcast. Spring training has kicked off for the Atlanta Braves. Wonderful. We're all excited as Braves fans for the return of Spencer Strider and Ronald Cooney Jr. this season. Fortunately, spring training has not got off to quite the most ideal start. Of course, the spring training is forgettable. It does not factor into the regular season, dismissed by baseball experts as not being something to worry about. But, of course, the Atlanta Braves, they had a very nice spring training in 2023, especially the regulars, and we saw that translate to the regular season. So, for us Atlanta Braves fans who have not seen the Atlanta Braves win a game for now 146 days, and tomorrow will be the 147th if they do not win, certainly hoping for things to cheer about, especially with how sour Atlanta Braves season was last year. And as we anticipate the return of our favorite players and a couple of our favorite Braves players, of course, that being Spencer Strider and Ronald Cooney Jr. So the Braves, they lost their first Grapefruit League matchup Saturday versus the Twins, 3-1, a road game. We saw Chris Sale pitch, and he had a nice 21-pitch outing. Nice, efficient day. Got 6 outs, no runs. We saw Bryce Elder as well in the game. He threw 2 innings, 31 pitches, no runs, with 2 strikeouts. Nice day for Bryce Elder. Be interesting if he potentially turned to form all-star form for the Braves. Something that some Braves fans speculate is impossible. We'll see. So Dylan Dodd, he took the loss as he gave up 2 runs in his outing. But in his outing, he displayed something interesting, as his cutter was looking a little bit different, and we saw it last year. Of course, he significantly used his cutter more last year. He's been developing it. 2023, we saw him go for a little bit more of a power velo thing, but that was not working out for Dylan Dodd, I guess, as he's now switched to looking to add this nice cutter to his repertoire. He was struggling in the command of this cutter, but it was something that looked as potentially, I saw in the highlights, potentially have a nice tunneling effect with his fastball. So if he could command that cutter, such as Jesse Chavez did from the right side, of course, Dylan Dodd is throwing from left side, something potentially look out for Dylan Dodd as he looks to potentially be a factor for Atlanta Braves in the bullpen some point in the season. Likely, opening day roster, things would have to go especially well for him and especially bad for other names such as Angel Perdomo, who we potentially see there for Atlanta Braves, their opening day roster and projections such as Martin Bowman's. So, and well, as well in that game, we saw something very interesting in this 2025 MLB spring training. They are testing out a ball and strike challenge system, which grades the ball and strike zone independently from the home plate umpire. And there in the bottom of the 7th inning, Jordan Weems there for Atlanta Braves, he challenged a call. He initiated the challenge. And of course, that system is not expected to be implemented into MLB regular season play until 2026. And here's how it works. The batters, pitchers, or catchers can all challenge an umpire's ball or strike call by tapping their head after the pitch. And with Hawkeye technology, I guess they're calling it, electronic strike zone, it can be reviewed. Each team gets 2 challenges per game. A successful challenge will retain the challenge. They will not lose the challenge. An unsuccessful one will lose it. As speculated in the broadcast, be potentially interesting to, I guess that was the radio broadcast. They were speculating Joe Simpson, not Joe Simpson, Darren O'Day and Ben Ingram. They were speculating that the Braves could potentially reduce responsibilities or delegate it to the catcher for challenging those balls and strikes. The view process, it's quick, averaging 17 seconds with results shown on stadium scoreboard. And the first instance of the challenge was in the first game of the year, Cubs-Dodgers. Cubs pitcher challenge called ball to Max Muncy in the first inning. They got out of the way quick, and it was overturned to a strike, altering the count. And aforementioned, not supposedly implemented until the 2026 season. But sometimes we see MLB try out these rules preseason, and owners, players, the coaches, everyone, league, fans, they somehow all jump on the same page and they'll implement it. If everyone likes it and the technology's there, could see it potentially implemented earlier than anticipated. Of course, that's speculation. So today we had Ian Anderson pitching for the first time since August 13th, 2022. And after facing 9 batters and not being able to get out of the second inning, Ian Anderson was pulled. He really struggled with command today. His final line of the day was 1.2 innings pitched, 1 run, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, and he had 2 runners stranded on first and second base. Chasen Shreve, he had a brilliant time getting out of that jam. Ian Anderson, he was sitting about 92, 93 miles an hour, 91. Throwing in that range, I believe I saw 94 in there as well. He threw 37 pitches. He had a 2.4 whip and a 16.2 walks per 9 inning. That's not good. That's some very bad negative peripheral numbers. 13 of his 37 pitches went into the strike zone, so it even gets worse. Accuracy, aforementioned, really struggling there for Ian Anderson in his return. 3 hits, and now those 13 pitches thrown in the strike zone. 3 hits, 3 of them were hits. 1 of them was a foul ball, and 2 were contact outs. So that's 6 out of 13 pitches were hit some kind of way by the Rays. Off Ian Anderson. One interesting thing I did see that Ian Anderson, his leg kick is higher this spring training than I've seen in highlights and replays, especially from 2021. I was looking at earlier today, prior to his debut, his return. His leg kick was higher. His leg kick seems to mask the ball for a second, which might help with his tipping. His tipping pitches in 2022, as reported as being a problem, a potential problem for Ian Anderson. So masking the ball might create a little bit more deception for Ian Anderson in his delivery. We'll see if that plays any kind of factor for Ian Anderson. So around the league, there's still some notable free agents. Of course, the Braves. We saw Daysbel Hernandez today. He struggled today as well. So I'd like the Braves to relook at and rethink signing a reliever. Luis Garcia, he got scooped up by the Dodgers. I did not see that prior. I think I was talking about him in episode 50 and ranting how the Braves should sign him, but I didn't notice that. Luis Garcia, he got scooped up by the Dodgers. Dodgers just keep adding. They had Luis Garcia on a non-guaranteed split. Oh, gosh. It means they can option him to the minor leagues? He's a bona fide, real threat, potential high leverage and high velo option from the left side. I believe he had a 6-pitch mix. Now we're left with Kyle Finnegan. I think he has like a 3 or 4 pitch mix. I still want the Braves to sign him. David Robertson, he's around 40. He's pretty old. I've signed both of them. Why not? Well, they say some fans speculate the Braves could be trying to reset the tax, trying to build for next year, anticipating that things might not go so great this year. Well, Tim Hires is in. We saw some interesting swings by Austin Riley, Matt Olson. Some interesting takes by Austin Riley, Matt Olson. The Braves regulars today were 1 for 10 with Matt Olson, Michael Harris II, Austin Riley, Orlando Arcia, and of course you'd probably guess it, Marcelo Ozuna is the only one who got hit today. So the Braves, they've got a lot of answers going forward in these upcoming spring training games. And us Braves fans, who saw them punched out early last two postseasons to Philly and the humiliating wild card finish to the season and punch out by the Padres. We want to see positive things now. For lack of better words, it's been tough for Braves fans, and for tough things to continue, it's going to be hard to see, but Brian Snitker, Austin Riley, they've shown us capability and possibilities of being able to use deception in our favor. And the Braves, of course, they have a tough start to the season with the West Coast road trip, Dodgers, Padres. And of course, we saw Austin Riley in 2023 postseason absolutely go off, surprise us, as he did not have quite a brilliant of his year in 2023 as we thought he could potentially have. And of course, the postseason versus the Phillies, maybe using a little bit of trick and deception, he absolutely went off. So maybe Brian Snitker and Austin Riley have something up their sleeve. Pretty much, we're grasping on hope for Braves fans. Hopefully, they give us something to smile about tomorrow as they're playing a game again tomorrow. First, the Orioles. It's on the road there. I'll talk about that in just a minute. So today, the Braves, they lost 4-2 to the Rays. The final result of the game, Sandy Leon, he got a home run off RBI. Could he potentially usurp Chadwick Trump being a favorite for backup catcher on opening day? We'll see. As well, Kurt Casale's in the mix as well. It'll be interesting to see when we see him. Connor Capel as well. He had an RBI double in the ninth inning for the Braves. Nathan Wiles, Braves pitcher, 22nd rated prospect. Braves pitcher. The run was credited to Trevor Martin, our pitcher. Oh, no. Excuse me. Nathan Wiles was not the Rays 2022 second. Brian De La Cruz, he got a double. Brian De La Cruz, potential platoon player with Jared Kelenic. They're on opening day roster. He had a sharp double off Joe Rock, the Rays 22 rated prospect. A 1-2 pitch. Bottom of the second inning. So a little bit of bright spot here today for the Rays in the 4-2 loss. Interesting news here developing around the league. Sandy Alcantara, he came back today strong. Of course, coming back from injury, Tommy John as well. And his velocity is back as he was averaging, throwing up to 98, 99 miles an hour, as well as his brilliant 92 mile an hour changeup is back. So that's interesting news as all of our division rivals, they see the Braves and the Marlins in the month of April, including the Braves. We all get a shot at the Marlins, and we all might see Sandy Alcantara back to his top form in April. The Phillies, Mets, and Braves will all see them, with the Mets seeing them 6 times in April. So hopefully the Mets get a double dose of Sandy Alcantara. Hopefully they lose both those games. And hopefully we win our game versus Sandy Alcantara. So Saturday, Jared Kelenic and Sean Murphy were a couple of the Braves regulars. They combined for 1 for 5. Jared Kelenic, he had a hit. Nice to see. Of course, he had the slow start to spring last year, so nice to see him. Nice 1 for 3 day for Jared Kelenic. So, upcoming games for the Land Braves. They're going to Sarasota tomorrow, right down the street, right down the highway. Ed Smith Stadium, 1 p.m., 1:05 p.m. First pitch. Supposedly no video feed. That sucks. First, the Orioles. And, of course, their young cast of studs. We'll see who plays there tomorrow. Probably see, imagine we'd see Kelenic again tomorrow. Maybe we'll see Drake Baldwin. He played Saturday. Maybe we'll see Sean Murphy. We haven't seen Ozzy Albies yet. Hopefully he's okay. Whoa. So Tuesday, split squad game. Pirates, Red Sox. Double dose of the Braves. The Red Sox game is televised, while the Pirates game is not. The Braves play the Pirates again Wednesday. It is televised. And then the first Gray Media game is Thursday night, 6 p.m., just after 6, with the Nationals. I'm not familiar with this gray media thing. I haven't had time to look it up. If anyone knows what it is, please comment in details. Comment so other people can know what it is, how to watch Thursday night. So none of us are confused and sitting there after work trying to figure out how to turn on the Braves game. Well, this has been an absolutely thrilling, blasterous, monstrous 51 episode of the BOS Sports Podcast. We'll return later in the week. Announce post on X. When that will be, to be determined. Not sure when that will be right now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Be sure to stream previous episodes of the BOS Sports Podcast. Stream Bar Soap music on Spotify. And we'll see you again after next episode. Keep chopping.